In the news tonight, major concern as crop thieves are arming themselves with guns. Trade unions warn of disrespect for workers as Goddard Catering Group staged a work stoppage this morning. St. Aidan's Church seeking to raise funds for roof repairs. And in sports, Barbados Pride, T&T Red Force ready to battle for the Super 50 crown.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Star Bajan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you for tuning in. In our top story tonight, crop thieves are now arming themselves with guns, becoming an even bigger threat to farmers. This concern is being raised by Acting Deputy Chief Agricultural Officer Barney Callender. He says predial larceny is taking a toll on farmers, and he's calling on Barbadians to work together to eliminate this issue, which is creating a headache for those members of the critical sector. He was addressing the launch of AgroFest 2026 at the Anthill School, where he said only this morning a farmer called him inquiring what was being done to stamp out predial larceny.
We cannot allow the farmers to suffer because of this. The guy spoke to me and he said that the thieves are now moving with guns. They are protecting themselves from the farmer. Imagine that. So we have to, as a group, as a ministry, make sure that we protect our industry. It's an attack on food security because it's discouraged persons from farming. We don't want to have that going on before us. So we must encourage the farmers to get involved in farming.
The island's premier agricultural exhibition will be held next year between February 27th and March 1st at Queen's Park. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, is thanking the Ministry of Educational Transformation for removing midterm break from February, allowing for greater student participation.
Tremendous amount of interest already coming from the schools saying, how can we participate? And I think that is something I want to thank the Ministry of Education for at least thinking of us this year, next year, but this year for next year. So I want those exhibitors who have shied away because of the fact that we don't have the schools on Friday. You do not need to shy away anymore. Please come, bring your exhibits, okay? And because at the same time, our schools are back with us.
One trade union is sending a stern warning to employers. They cannot continue to treat workers with scant respect and leave lingering matters unresolved. This was part of the message sent by the Barbados Workers Union to Goddard's Catering Group and other workers at the company, as workers of that company staged a work stoppage at the airport today. Among the complaints, a raise of pay. Rachel Agard has that story.
Which enabled us then to advance the discussion with the workers towards resuming operations today. However, I would say that the matter is not concluded. We are at a better stage which has enabled work to resume.
Mr. Paul says within the confines of the Grantley Adams International Airport, there are a number of issues brewing within the many divisions. And he warns that today's action may not be the last if there are not timely resolutions to other lingering matters.
We continue to say that we mistreat and we do not pay enough attention to issues surrounding workers until we believe we need them. Today is supposed to be a busy day at the airport, and that day, the work today will be carried on the backs of many workers today. Efforts to be successful, and efforts supposed to bring the results it's supposed to generate to the country. However, the mechanisms that deal with workers' issues and to treat to them timely and effectively seem to take workers sometimes, in my view, for a joke. But I'm signaling to all and sundry that we are no longer laughing and we are no longer participating in the joke. The matters have to be addressed, the matters have to be resolved.
Mr. Paul adds that if the country is to have a winter season that sees the full cooperation of labor, then all matters must be addressed.
Other ways than that, you can see more of this and probably increase of this, because we are not opposed to asking workers to adhere to support one another, because everybody knows that these workers exist now, but they're not prepared to be a one-day joke.
Mr. Paul says the lingering matters have been under discussion for the last 2 years. He is hopeful that by next Tuesday they will reach a resolution. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Authorities say today's work stoppage did not have any impact on the operations of the airport. Well, this was the scene at the airport this afternoon as several wide-body jets touched down. Just yesterday, Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Goddard indicated that 8,000 commercial passengers would be passing through the airport. More than 50 aircraft are expected to land, with officials calling it the busiest day of the year. Barbadians are getting a front row seat in shaping the future of government services. GovTech Barbados Limited has hosted its very first public town hall, opening direct dialogue on how technology will transform how we access public services. Deanza Roberts has this report.
From passports to public records, the way Barbadians interact with government is changing. And this week, citizens packed the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Centre to have their say in that transformation. GovTech Barbados Limited, hosting its first ever public town hall, created a platform for open discussion on the future of digital government. Chief Executive Officer Mark Boy says they want to ensure that anyone using one platform can access all government services.
The long-term vision is for alpha.gov.bb, which will eventually become the new gov.bb, to be the single entry point for services in Barbados. So you don't want a situation where the people of Barbados have to know which government department is responsible for the thing they want to do. It's not your responsibility to know that. You shouldn't have to know where to go to get your thing done. You should just be able to go to gov.bb, and everything you want to get done should be able to get done from that one place.
Residents didn't just listen, they participated. Questions were raised, concern voiced, and suggestions offered. Officials say creating a single access point for government transactions is a way of improving the life of all citizens. Shannon Clark is the software developer.
We ourselves, we determine what technology we use, and we also determine how the technology should be built. So GovTech working for you means that we as developers and tech professionals, I say we, the local we, means that we should be building not for the few but for the many. For those who may be differently abled, those who may be differently enfranchised, those who may be able to represent themselves.
By night's end, the message was, digital transformation is no longer a distant goal. It's actively unfolding with citizens at the center. GovTech says this town hall is just the beginning, with more community engagements planned across the island. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
All is set for the installation of the second president of Barbados, with the Independence and Republic Day ceremonial parade and National Awards Ceremony 2025 at Kensington Oval on Sunday. Grand rehearsals for the parade, where Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic will receive his first presidential 21-gun salute when he ascends the saluting dais. This will come after President Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason takes her final salute as President of Barbados. Minister of Information and Home Affairs Wilfred Abrams says he's pleased with the successful rehearsals.
Barbadians are accustomed to our parade. We're celebrating our 59th year as an independent nation, and we're also celebrating our 4th year as a republic. But this year is the added excitement that we're installing the second president of Barbados, the most honorable Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic. We all know him from taking us through COVID. His mantra, no retreat, no surrender, became a rallying call and symbolized our resilience as a country. Colonel Bostic grew up not far from here. He went to school in the city. He then went to come mayor. He then represented the city as an MP, and he's being installed to the highest office in the land, just where he grew up. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
Minister Abrams says he expects Barbadians to attend the parade to witness the historic occasion.
I expect people out in the numbers to support him. He is one of the most popular public figures we've ever had, and our parade is going to reflect that. The parade is going to reflect the solemnity of the occasion, the joyousness of the occasion. It's also going to reflect the fact that we're going into Advent season, which is the beginning of the liturgical year for Christians. So this is the promise of a fresh hope, the promise of a new beginning. This embodies everything we look forward to. I'm satisfied with the way the rehearsals are going, and I look forward to seeing the parade unfold in all of its glory. Don't miss it.
Well, gates will open at 6 a.m. and the parade will begin at 8 a.m. sharp. Coming up on Newsnight, the congregation of a quaint chapel by the seaside in Bathsheba is seeking assistance in raising funds to repair their church's roof. The 116-year St. Aidan's Anglican Church is in need of repair, and the parishioners are doing their part to help. Additionally, a new spot has been cleared to erect a new St. Joseph Parish Church. Rachel Goddard tells us more.
Parishioners of the now deconsecrated St. Joseph Parish Church could soon have a new place of worship. Word of this from Honorary Assistant Curate of St. Joseph and St. Aidan's, Reverend Rudon Eversley, who says work is underway.
Moving forward on a replacement is now under the most active consideration at the diocesan level. The land on which will be the new site was recently cleared, so I expect that in the new year you will hear something about it.
Additionally, Reverend Eversley says the roof of the St. Aidan's Anglican Church is in need of restoration, and to assist with procuring some of the funds, the parishioners are hosting a food sale on November 29th on the church grounds.
There's some challenges with the roof. As you know, St. Aidan's is right on the beachfront, and there are always challenges maintaining beachfront properties. Plus, the church is over 100 years old. So we've had some challenges, and while it is being dealt with at the highest diocesan level, the congregation decided that they would pitch in and try to raise some funds. So seeing it's a long Independence weekend, we've decided that we would put together a food sale on the church grounds, featuring all the things Barbadians expect at Christmas, at Independence.
Congregant at St. Aidan's, Drayton Carter, says restoring the church is important, and he lauds the contribution of the church to society over the years.
Persons and very important professions who have actually contributed to the building of the society. So it is something we want to maintain, that not only that character, the history, you know. So we want persons to come and experience what we want them to experience.
Parishioners are hopeful to raise some of the $50,000 to restore the church's roof. Rachel Goddard, CBC News.
The island's public and private school plants are set to get a facelift. They will be achieved through the Barbados Best Kept Schools competition and the school's community garden partnership, which has started with 20 schools. Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman made the disclosure yesterday during a press conference. He's also urging those in the community to partner with schools close to them to assist in the project.
The competition, Barbados Best Kept Schools, is really to raise the bar across the board to ensure that schools in the country, both at the public side and the private side, can now use it as a springboard and motivation, so as to ensure that we can now lift the standard of our schools.
The polls are now closed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the counting should be underway. More than 103,000 voters are expected to go to the 250 polling stations to elect a new government in an election that political observers say could signal the end of the political career of Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Dr. Gonsalves, 79, is the longest-serving head of government in CARICOM. He is leading his ruling Unity Labour Party, ULP, into the election, hoping for a sixth consecutive victory. But he faces an uphill task as the main opposition, New Democratic Party, NDP, seeks to end their 25 years in the political wilderness under the 66-year-old attorney, Dr. Godwin Friday. Both the ULP and NDP are fielding candidates in all 15 constituencies. The National Liberation Movement, NLM, is being represented by its leader, Dr. Doris Charles, who is contesting the South Leeward seat, while another female candidate, Kenna Kestells, the lone independent in the race, is contesting the West St. George seat. Now, joining us live is political analyst Peter Wickham, who is in St. Vincent. Good evening, Peter.
Hi, good evening, good to be with you.
So Peter, what is your take on the ground there? How did it go today?
Yeah, typical election day, voting is heavy in the morning, which is often the case. It's been raining heavily in positions today. I don't know if you can still hear it's raining now, but notwithstanding, people have been voting for each week. No indication yet regarding the level of turnout, although the feeling is that it is higher. But I'm always suspicious when we have that call made before the electoral office does the number crunching. And as far as actual results are concerned, we've already seen some results coming in to give us some indication of the way things are going. The Grenadines results have already been declared in 2 or 3 polling divisions. There's a slight swing in favor of the NDP here. That's entirely unsurprising as the NDP win Grenadines certainly Dr. Godwin Friday is one of those seats that is leading a division. On the mainland, we expect some fairly tough fight with the results coming in essentially where can't see a whole lot happening. But it's going to be a relatively short night, I think, because we are already getting into some of the real numbers. So I'm hoping that for 10 o'clock we'll have a clear idea of the election.
Peter, in the run-up to the election, what was the word like on the ground? What was the feeling in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
I mean, it's difficult to ignore a strong feeling, that change is in the offing. The opposition has been hammering the issue of change. And I think that when you move around St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that's essentially what people are talking about. It's interesting that issues like the cost of living and crime and things of that nature, which have been so prominent in other elections in the Caribbean, you hardly heard anything about it here. Essentially, it was dangerous, was the word on the street. The NDP is very enthusiastic and very hyped. Dr. Gonsalves found it certainly in the last few days as though he was very much on the back foot. And he's making a plea for an additional term. But the reality is that it's going to be an uphill battle. There's about 5 marginal seats on the mainland. And if there is a negative swing against the ULP, it would be difficult to see how that could be sustained or minimized to the extent that a sixth term would be possible. But I'm waiting still. Too early to say. But it looks as though there's a feeling on the mood of change here in the
All right, thank you very much, Peter. Of course, we will check in maybe later to see what is what, but that's political scientist Peter Wickham joining us live from St. Vincent, where Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is seeking an unprecedented 6th term in office. Sports time now. Damien Best joins us live in the sports studio with the details. Good evening, Damien.
Well, defending champions West Terrace are into the semi-finals of the COB Herman Griffith Primary School's cricket competition. Playing at Dash Valley today, West Terrace defeated Good Shepherd by 65 runs. CBC's Ann Margaret's Boyce reports on the first innings.
West Terrace won the toss and elected to bat first, and we pick up the action with Good Shepherd already capturing a wicket. But this is Neymar Ford pulling this one from the off stump to the leg side for the opening boundary of the match. Ford is one of the most informed batsmen of this year's competition, and you can definitely see why. That's too full and gets the necessary treatment for more. Ford was on a mission. Anything short of a length was punished. No need for the fielder to go chasing. 6 big runs. The Manny Haynes toiled away and finally got his reward. The danger boy Ford is clean bowled. Good Shepherd celebrating. Caleb Edwards now to Kishon Cumberbatch. It's the sound no batsman wants to hear. That's out. West Terrace 78 for 3. Andre Harewood was brought into the attack, and Caelan Corbin timed it perfectly, punching this one through extra cover to the fence for a boundary. Corbin decided this time to go over the head of mid-off, boundary after boundary. He was joined at the crease by Joshua Carter, who plays this delivery from Yearwood behind backward point. More runs on the board for West Terrace. Corbin was simply destructive. That's a maximum of Yearwood. But Corbin, approaching his half-century, ran out of patience, plays it onto his stumps. He goes for a well-played 45. West Terrace 116 for 4. Yearwood continued to pick up wickets. Carter is bowled for 12. West Terrace eventually restricted to 163 for 8. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anmar. In reply, Good Shepherd were bowled out for just 98. Caelan Corbin took 4 for 18, while Liam Harper and Joshua Carter took 2 wickets apiece. In the other quarter-final match, Gordon Greenwich defeated Eden Lodge by 6 runs.
The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
The successful partnership between the local taxi hailing company Pickup Barbados and Pace Digital has resulted in access to the Pace Digital credit card. This new initiative was officially launched today during a media event held at Pace Digital's office in Haggett Hall, St. Michael. Driver success lead at Pickup Barbados, Lenroy Scott, described the collaboration as a significant milestone for the company and a continuation of the relationship between Pace Digital and Pickup Barbados. We hear more from Trevor Thorpe.
200 drivers make up the Pickup Digital portfolio, and the company's official has called this a milestone for the local taxi hailing app company. He said it's only the beginning of what is in store between the two entities.
Today we mark a major step forward, securing pre-approval for Pace Digital credit cards for over 200 of our qualifying taxi drivers. This initiative is designed to facilitate crucial access to credit, reinforcing our commitment to professionalizing and elevating the local transportation industry. Through this unique partnership, we were able to simplify the application process, offer reduced fees to our drivers, and ensure drivers are now eligible for the Pace Digital Loyalty Program.
Mr. Scott says the program also includes educational workshops and training sessions focused on financial literacy, credit management and responsible financial planning, and should set the tone for drivers preparing for the winter tourist season.
While we are very optimistic about a successful upcoming winter season, we recognize the inherent seasonality of tourism in Barbados. Providing our drivers with financial flexibility and the opportunity to build a strong credit history is a huge win for their stability and future. We look forward to a continued collaboration with Pace Digital as we empower our drivers to thrive.
2 drivers shared their thoughts on the new initiatives. Kimar Gibson, a driver with 13 years of experience, said the introduction of the new credit card is a very positive move.
The credit card helps you manage your savings and stuff a little better. Instead of using my actual money, you can utilize the credit card to just pay back with brilliant rates that they have to offer.
Jeremy Grant, who has been in the business for 10 years, said he has plans for the future and intends to stay in the service as long as he can.
It means a lot to me. Always wanted a credit card, never had one before. So this is an opportunity to pick up, and Pace is giving me to step into the modern world.
Gail Belch, the business development manager at Pace Digital, said the card is an international one and an excellent companion for drivers.
The Pace Digital card is one that is a lifestyle card. All of our cardholders can use the cards locally for any of the purchases, whether it is at the groceries, the supermarkets, gas, any purchase that they want to engage, or any purchase that they want to do locally, they can use their Pace Digital card.
Pickup Barbados is 5 years old and joins 10 other Pace Digital loyalty partners' portfolio. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Damien is back now for the second half in sports. Over to you, Damien.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lisa. Well, Barbados' elite squash players Kamal Kamabach and Megan Best lived up to their top seeding and pre-tournament hype, securing the individual men's and women's titles at the ENET Senior Caribbean Squash Championships at the National Racket Centre in Guyana this week. Kamabach, the defending champion, secured his third consecutive men's individual title in his fourth final appearance. He overcame a spirited challenge from Bermuda's veteran campaigner Michael Franklin, winning in 4 tough sets, 11-5, 7-11, 11-4, 11-4. He spoke to Newsroom Guyana after the victory.
It was an amazing final. Michael pushed me to the match, right? I'm super thrilled that both me and Megan were able to take this back to Barbados.
Yeah, probably the first guy to take a set off you in this competition. When it happened, I don't know if you have any nerves or you were thinking probably it's a 5-set thriller. How did you manage to bounce back?
I mean, I played a lot of squash matches, right? When they take a game, obviously the momentum switches a little bit. So, I mean, obviously it takes you back, but just go back to the basics, start from love all again.
Yeah. What does this mean to you to get another title, the third consecutive, and certainly in quite dominant fashion as well?
I mean, it means everything, right? Winning 2, as I said last year, was something that I couldn't dream of, honestly. Now winning 3, now it takes it into a whole nother level. So, I mean, hopefully I can keep going. I'm young, so I think there are more years to come.
Well, the women's final was an all-Barbadian affair that proved to be a high-quality contest between Megan Best and the 2024 champion Margot Pro. Best won 11-9, 11-8, 5-11, 11-5 to seal her third individual title and first since 2017.
Obviously, it hasn't processed as yet. I'm still trying to soak it in. I don't know. I think for right now, I'm just happy to be playing in front of everyone back again. I haven't, as I said, haven't been back for a lot of years. I think it's 5 years, so right. I'm just happy to be back playing against my home crowd, my people. Everyone here is my home to me, so happy that I came out on top. I'm sorry I had to be my teammate that lost, but I'm happy as me that won. Yeah.
People see the journey, people see the medal, people see the smiles. If you could just briefly tell them how hard you had to work to get to this point.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of downs and very few ups. I didn't have an easy road, just as a lot of people would say in their career. I always had to face difficulties just going through trying to figure out my game, a lot of losses I had, and, just always searching for that one win. So as I said, I'm always happy to just get the wins that I get and know that, I can keep going, keep doing the training I'm doing, and the things that I'm doing right now are working.
Well, Comomera will battle Christchurch Foundation in the final of the Desani Power 8 Under-13 Barbados Secondary Schools Netball League competition. Comomera got past host St. Michael's School by an 11-goal margin in their semi-final encounter. A look at the Under-13 semi-final matchup. Host St. Michael's School battling Comomera, who have possession. Goal shooter Nayeri Mears wide open, not going to miss. The Cougars didn't have much to shout about in the scoring column. Goal shooter Janelle Harvey netting 3 goals from 6 attempts. At the opposite end, Mears was effective, finished with 5 goals from 11 attempts. The lob pass, nice grab, aim and shoot. Goal attack Jashineer Drakes was the most lethal though, converting 9 goals from 9 attempts. Didn't matter the distance. 8 goals scored in the second half. The Comomera Express train moving at great pace. Drakes drills another one. The SMS defense overwhelmed. Mears darts towards the goalpost, puts it up and in. Comfortable win then for Comomera over the St. Michael's School, 14-3. Meanwhile, in the other semi, Foundation defeated Queen's College 14-6. Horse racing fans are set for a treat this weekend at the Garrison Savannah as the Barbados Thoroughbred Breeders Association Race Day will take center stage. The card will feature the Sir Charles Williams Memorial Breeders Classic, the Elliott Williams Memorial Juvenile Breeders Stakes and Trophy, and the Barbados Lottery Pride of Barbados Jockey Challenge for charity. Barbados Turf Club Liaison Officer Muhammad says there are quality entries.
So the team are made up of the leading rider for Barbados right now, Ricky Walker, Jarrell Beckers, who's fresh from winning this year's Barbados Derby, Ray Williams, Delano Lopez, apprentices Raheem Tor and Kadeem Mohammed. Both are having a very good season this year. Both of them are the two leading apprentices this year. The foreign-based team is headed by Rashid Hughes, the Mario Bueno, who was the champion jockey at Azabonia Downs, Dario Darrimpan, Tishon Hazelbell, Rashan Knight, and Antonio Swaggle Whitehall.
And that's news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.